Hi guys, and welcome to Tea Time with Jules. I'm Jules, and today I have kind of a different video for you guys. I know that some of you probably saw the video where I was recently in Italy, where I performed in an opera, and I was kind of at a summer program. Hey YouTube, it's Julia, or Jules, and I am in Italy right now. Let's see if you guys can see. Walking along this really pretty river. I'm actually at an Italian summer program for a whole month. So I'm just chilling here in Italy, having voice lessons, and I'm singing in an opera. It's a German opera that I'm doing in Italy. It was confusing for me because I was working on my German, but I was also in Italy, so I was trying to work on my Italian as well. And I just remember this one time my friend asked me a question like, how do you say like you in Italian or something? And I was like, yeah, do, that's do. And she was like, Italian? I think that was German. And I was like, oh my god, my languages are getting mixed up. I've been working on my Italian. I hope it's gotten better. I know how to say ciao, buongiorno, buonasera, posso avere un vino rosso. I love the wine here, guys. Un vino rosso, the red wine, is so good. Anyway, I'm blabbering. But the opera that I'm in is called Die Flute. It's the Magic Flute, which is an opera by Mozart. So a lot of people, well, I don't want to say a lot of people, but it's one of those kind of like basic operas that if you've ever heard of opera, you've probably heard of the Magic Flute. So that's what I'm doing here, just living it up in Italy. So this opera, The Magic Flute, is by Mozart. A lot of people, I'm sure, have heard of Mozart because he's one of the most famous classical composers of all time. He was Austrian, so he was born in Austria, but he wrote a lot of Italian operas because just like that was a thing. And actually I learned that, I mean, Austria is like really close to Italy. When I was in like the Dolomiti region up in Italy, which is northern Italy. I didn't realize it was kind of close to Austria, like closer than Rome, you know? That was so cool. I almost wanted to go when I was there. Yeah, Europe is great, guys. If you ever get a chance to visit any place in Europe, please go. It's amazing to immerse yourself in another culture, meet new people. There are people from a lot of different European countries in this program, so I'm not only learning stuff about Italy, I'm learning stuff about their other cultures as well. So it's been like just a really great environment to kind of be in. I feel like it's almost like a multicultural kind of environment here in this Italian summer program where I'm singing German. So, the Magic Flute. So the Magic Flute is this like fantastical story that has all of these like magical beings and people in it. It's almost like a children's fairy tale. I feel like it also has some really good morals to it and messages that you can glean from the opera. So we start out with Trentino, and he is a prince that has been roaming the lands. I honestly don't even know where Tamino comes from. He just says like he's a prince that comes from another land where his father's the king, and his father rules over many lands. And because his father's a king, then he's a prince, and there we go. That's that. And it's just kind of funny how some of the characters are just characterized. They're so kind of comical. It's not an opera to be really taken seriously. This is one of those like comic operas. So I would encourage, if you want to go see an opera, the Magic Flute might be a good first opera to go to because it's kind of wild and crazy, like it's all over the place. And so it is long, because most operas are long, but like the storyline, the plot is just really fun. And so if you guys are looking to go see an opera for the first time, the Magic Flute would be a good one to go to. So we have Tamino. He is being chased by this like monster dragon in the beginning, and the dragon is vanquished by these three ladies who work for the Queen of the Night. Now, the Queen of the Night, she has that famous aria that I'm sure like everybody hears at least once in their life. So I'm not gonna sing it for you guys, but it goes like super, super high, okay? I would suggest you guys to listen to this aria. You can look it up, it's just called like the Queen of the Night aria, and look for Diana Damrau. Hers is the best version out there. Guys, it is lit. It's fire. It's amazing. So that's one of the like big arias from this opera. So the three ladies work for the Queen of the Night, and basically the Queen of the Night, she's trying to defeat this guy Zarastro. They're like head to head at odds with each other because she believes he stole this like power from her, and he is keeping this power safe in his temple for the next rulers. The whole thing is about keeping the balance of power so that one person doesn't have more than the other. One person can't dominate and rule, and it's equal. So Tamino meets this birdman called Papageno. He's a bird catcher. I will say Papageno is almost like the star of the whole opera, because he, I think, has the most like action going on, the most songs and the most dialogue and just the most stuff going on in the whole opera. So that's like a big role, that's a big role to have in the opera. So Tamino is the tenor, and he is now told by the Queen of the Night that he has to go. Well, first he was asked, but then he was told, because she doesn't take any shit. She tells him that he has to go save her daughter Pamina. And of course they show him like a locket of Pamina's face, and he's like, oh my god, I'm in love, she's cute. So he decides to go with Papageno actually Papageno was forced to go with him because Papageno works for the Queen of the Night and her ladies. So Tamino and Papageno, they go to save Pamina from Zarastro's temple. Pamina was like kidnapped when she was kind of young, when she was a kid. So this part was so confusing. I was like, so has it been a few years since she's been kidnapped and nobody's been able to go save her? So Tamino and Papageno go to save her. She's being held there by Monostatos, some creepy, evil weirdo. He's a creepo. And he's keeping her prisoner there for Zarastro, which, he works for Zarastro. So Zarastro is keeping her at his temple. But I think that Zarastro is keeping her there so she stays away from the evil influence of her mother, the Queen of the Night. The Queen of the Night is Pamina's mom. So Tamino goes and he sees Pamina in there. They're trying to save her, but then Zarastro shows up out of nowhere like some wizard man, and he tells Tamino and Papageno that they have to go through trials to see if they're even worthy enough to join their brotherhood. Honestly, it sounds a bit cultish to me, but I mean, what are you gonna do? Mozart wrote it. But still, I'm like, I don't know about this. Pamina doesn't get to go on the trials because she's a lady, so she has to stay back and hope that they get through the trials and can then eventually be with Tamino. She falls in love with Tamino, just like without even ever seeing him. She hears about him like, oh, there's this prince coming to save you, and she's like, oh my god, I'm in love. Yeah, so lots of different little side stories happening, and then at the end, Tamino and Papageno finish the trials, and Pamina ends up helping Tamino through the last of the trials, and at the end, they are granted the power that Zarastro has been keeping. He actually gives it to Tamino, but I'm sure that him and Pamina will share that kind of power, so there's like a balance, and they're kind of like now creating this new era, this new kingdom for this new king and queen, basically. So that's basically the whole opera. I will say at the end, the Queen of the Night and her minions, which are the three ladies and Monostatos, that evil creepo, they try to storm the temple and steal the power from Zarastro, and they're pretty easily vanquished. Yeah, but in the opera, I was one of the three ladies. They're like a trio of ladies that kind of helps to guide Tamino and Papageno on their quest, on their adventure, and aids the Queen of the Night with all of her evil doings. So I really enjoyed doing that role. I was the second lady. So in German, that's called the Zweite Dame. And so that was a really, really fun role to do. And I will say I had such a great time being in that opera. It's such a fun one to be a part of. So I'm here for this opera program and just trying my best to do well and enjoy my time while I'm here. And thinking about moving to Italy. Love talking to you guys as always, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! So that's the whole story of the Magic Flute, and if you guys ever have a chance to see it, you should really go see it. If you're not super into opera, like, just give it a go. If you don't like it, okay, who cares? Like, you can leave during intermission. Don't let anybody know I said that. Well, thanks so much, guys, for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Oh, before we go, if you guys want to hear any other stuff about opera, or you had questions about any stuff that I talked about in the video that didn't quite make sense, comment below. Because I really love talking about this stuff, and I could ramble on and on for ages about all of this opera stuff. But thank you so much for joining me, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!